All right, everybody, welcome to BO Boys for Thursday, June 19th. Fuck it, it's a raw feed. We're doing it live in studio. I'm Clayton.
Yeah, I'm Pat. Clayton, this is a huge weekend. We've got a big kids movie, which fine, we'll talk about that. But we have a giant horror movie, not just a horror movie, but a horror franchise with a new installment years later. So we had to do it, Clayton. We had to bring in our chief horror correspondent from the great New Flesh podcast and the Roger and Me podcast, the Roger Ebert podcast. We have the one, the only Brett is here. Brett,
Hello.
welcome back to the BO Boys. And we are looking at you now. We're looking at your punum
My
on our
punum.
big screen in studio. It's magnificent.
Yeah, I feel like Zordon. Is that a reference you understand?
Is that the show with Jason Sudeikis? Is that the short-lived Fox sitcom Zordon?
I meant to be referencing Power Rangers, but I may have got the name wrong, honestly. I meant to evoke like a big head on a screen. I could have said like the wizard from the Wizard of Oz. That would have been maybe better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I look in there. I can't see myself.
You look great. You're at home. You just put baby to bed.
Yeah, I might take the punum out and show it to you guys on YouTube.
Whoa, he's going to take the punum, and Clayton is going to make a quick fix in studio, and we're going to leave this in because it's a raw feed. Hey guys, and we're in studio.
Seems like a good time to pull the punum out.
So this is the time. If you could pull out the punum, it'll drive up the views. Probably won't do much for the podcast feed, but I think for the YouTube, hey guys, it'll be huge. So, Brett, we had to bring you in for this episode because we got 28 years later. But before we get into that, some takes from you on the start of the summer movie season so far. Have you trained your dragon yet? Is that a thing you've done?
Is that why you were late?
Yeah, were you training your dragon?
I was training my dragon right before I got here. Still working on it, but we took a break so I could do the show.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, classic live action remake problem where I'm like, this is fine, but it doesn't have the visual imagination, or it just like you put any scene next to the animated version and you're like, why am I watching this washed out gray looking CGI version when the animated version is, it's like it's so recent that it's computer animated and we're like nostalgic for that now, which is hilarious. But I totally am. I was watching this like, yeah, I'd much rather be watching the animated one, which has, I don't know, there's like energy to the action that is totally lost in live action.
This not your toothless.
This is not your toothless. Hashtag not my toothless. Absolutely not. So much teeth, so many teeth in there. Actually, it was confusing to me.
How was Jerry Butler? Was he just as good as he was in the animated version, or is he in a decline?
No, I love Jerry Butler, and I'm happy that he's in a movie that's making like real money again. Like, when's the last time he was in a movie that banked this much opening weekend? Ever?
Has not this much, but I guess the Has Fallen movies are the closest he's been to true mainstream, right? I mean, Plane didn't really do it. I mean, Den of Thieves, mainstream podcast world, I guess, like podcast about a movie.
Did you know that the Has Fallen series had its natural conclusion as, I believe, like a Amazon Prime TV show or something called Paris Has Fallen? Jerry Butler is not involved. Yeah. It's a real thing.
Wait, so when did that come out?
I'm discovering now that it's a French television show, so it's probably doesn't really actually exist for most people in our country. Okay. But I feel like it's one of those things you can watch on streaming.
But so it's connected to that universe?
It is. It's on, all 8 episodes are on the US on Hulu as of December 2024. It came out September 2024 in France. It is called Paris Has Fallen, and from my understanding is it takes place in that world. It's set in the Has Fallen universe, which is an incredible sentence.
So those movies, as everybody knows, are my Star Wars.
Yes.
And so the fact that I didn't know an Andor existed, is disappointing to me. I mean, where was the marketing for this? This is why Streamo is so bad. Why was I
100%.
not the main targeted person for this series?
Well, because I guess you're not French and you don't live in France, and this seems to be a French language, French production.
But Sean Harris is in it, which is cool. We all love Sean Harris.
Okay.
Solomon Lane from the Mission Impossible movies, one of the great villains in Mission Impossible. He's in the show. Yeah, the show sounds very French. A disillusioned former French Foreign Legion soldier launches a revenge attack against the French government. So it truly just has fallen but French, right?
Right.
That's what's going on.
Right.
Which, I'd watch a lot of movies if they did them in French.
Mm-hmm.
And we could assume that there is graphic hardcore sex in this Paris Has Fallen movie, since it is a French production.
Someone uses a stick of butter for lube.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why Jerry Butler would refuse to be involved. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's like, you're not
Mhm.
putting the butter there. There's places where the butter could go, but it's not there.
Yeah, like on a piece of toast that he will throw next to a dead body
Yes.
when he's investigating.
Yes, that's where butter goes. So, and let's see, horror in the last few months. Brett, Final Destination Bloodlines. Is this
Smash hit.
just Christmas for you? Or
Yeah.
Halloween for you? This is just incredible.
It's Halloween for us over at the New Flesh podcast. We're very happy about the Final Destination series coming back strong. I feel like I don't want to sound like Nostradamus or anything, but I feel like we kind of were talking about it as if it were going to be very big
Mhm.
because it's maybe I think you probably talked about it on this show as well. Just the pent up demand for it, in that so many people were raised. That's such a sleepover movie.
Mhm.
So many people watch Final Destination at sleepovers, and it's like a seminal franchise for people of a certain age, and they've never that. Some of those people had never seen one in the theater because of when they were young when those were in theaters.
Mhm.
So it's like a new generation got to go see one, plus all the people like me who are seeing them. I've seen everyone but the first one in theaters. I was a little too young for the first one in theaters, but I did force my dad to take me to the second one, which that movie looms so large, and I feel like all of our lives. The log truck, we're always, if you see a log truck, you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're thinking this is it for me, and you know what? That's fine.
Yeah. Because it'd be
That's
a
fine.
movie scene related death.
Yeah, and it would remind you of such a great sequence that you're like,
Yes.
this is fine.
Now imagine the B.O. Boys are on a road trip.
Okay.
Like we're going to
Coming to a town near you.
coming
Easy
a
to
town near you.
picture. Clayton's driving.
Yeah, I'm driving.
Has to be.
And
He's got
then
the sunglasses on already.
if that's how we go,
Yeah.
log truck,
Yes.
right through, smashes my brain.
Yeah.
I'm dead instantly, painless.
Okay.
And you're trapped in this vehicle. My foot is on the gas.
Oh, so I'm going for a while.
And you're just going for a while, and you're careening through
Right.
traffic, flip over a bunch of cars. You're in the air for what feels like forever.
Mm,
Everything is going through your head. You can't get the seatbelt off.
right.
Right?
I wouldn't know how, even if I tried.
You're hoping that your heart will just stop, but it won't.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because all that running
Right.
made you really strong.
Right.
So you don't get a quick death. You're gonna live through this whole thing, and then it tumbles over. You're on fire.
Oh, wow.
You're
Okay.
completely engulfed in flames now because
Okay.
what happened is you ramped off burning cars,
Went
engulfed,
through an oil truck.
went through an oil truck. You're covered in oil. You're burning.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you're headed for a cliff,
Yeah.
and then tumble. You're still alive,
Right.
and then at the bottom, you're just completely.
well, then there's cannibals down.
There's cannibals down there, and they start eating you slowly.
Yeah. We were in the Amazon on tour.
Yeah, and so then there's napkin. They're tucking the napkin
Yeah, yeah.
then they're going to come and they're going to eat you.
Yeah.
And so that's how it happens. So
Oh, it'd be great.
So fitting,
because it was
though.
like from Final Destination. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be great. So yeah, I mean, listen, even though there's fools in this business who will say horror is dead, and we all know who they are, and they're full of baloney, these people. As horror, I mean,
I was
horror
just in
is-
Italy eating a lot of mortadella. I'll just say that.
There we
wow. Okay, that's right. You were overseas.
Do you guys know there's a Claire's at the Duomo in Rome? You can get your ears pierced.
I was just going to say, did you get your ears pierced?
I wanted to, but they didn't have a shirt that said I got my ears pierced at the Claire's at the Duomo, and I honestly was like, well, I have a new business to start when I get home. but
Yeah.
they were missing out, so I didn't get my ear pierced again. But I should have, because
Yeah.
what an opportunity.
You make the shirts, and then you just have to find some local Italian who's down on their luck out there, who then sets up a stand outside the Claire's and sells those shirts for you.
I
And
would
you're just
make
doing everything
6
from
figures
overseas.
in a weekend, I think, doing that.
Now, were you there to celebrate the new pope, or were you there doing a Euro trip sightseeing
I was doing
excursion?
I was doing Eurotrip parentheses 2004 a trip. So I was going to all the locations from the seminal sex comedy with the late Michelle Trachtenberg, rest in
Yes,
peace.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
But yeah, I went to Bratislava. I went to the sex dungeon that what's her name? Xena the Warrior Princess.
Yes.
Remember all those things? I did the Fred Armisen Mi Scusi, you know?
Excuse. So you went on the train,
Yeah.
you went under the tunnel, reenacted it.
Yeah, I did
Greatest-
the robot thing, you know,
Yeah.
the
One of the
Pope hat
greatest scenes.
on fire. It's an iconic film. I think you guys know it just as well as I do.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Pat might not.
Well,
I-
were you there? You're on this Eurotrip trip. Doing the
Another
sites.
movie I dragged my dad to as a 13-year-old or whatever, which
Yeah.
is so funny to think. Yeah.
Was Matt Damon also there?
Oh yeah, with the bald cap on and everything, looking like the metal singer or whatever he was.
Yes.
Scotty doesn't know.
Scotty does
doesn't
not know.
He does not know. So what was the movie vibe in Italy when you were there? Was there a big Hollywood movie that was playing at all the Coliseums?
I was looking obviously to go see a movie there just because I like, it would be a cool thing to do. We were staying in Florence and there was a very cool movie theater situation in Florence that it's a movie theater / bookstore
Okay.
where during the day when the bookstore is open, there's just a movie always playing on the screen and there are seats as if there's a movie theater, we're just kind of around the books and like there's like a balcony where there's some more seats. So people are just like hanging out. Mulan was playing when we were there.
Okay.
Nice.
And then like when it closes at night, like the earliest show is 9 p.m. because that's I guess when the bookstore closes. And then it's like the Phoenician Scheme was playing at 9 o'clock.
That fits.
Yeah, so like I'd already seen it, so I didn't go. But I was so upset because there was a David Lynch series playing at that place, but like I was a week off or something. Like it would have been Elephant Man, which I totally would have gone to.
Wow. I mean, this is my dream place. I mean, it's a bookstore.
It's a cafe, of course.
And it's a cafe.
Yeah.
I love coffee.
Espresso.
Love the job. I love espresso.
Yeah.
And it's a movie theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta again. I'm just coming up with business ideas everywhere. Like, I gotta take this to the U.S. We gotta open the movie theater bookstore.
You absolutely. I mean, listen. If you want to put up all the money,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
deal with all the paperwork
Right.
and
Logistics.
all
the
the
logistics and
shipping.
stuff.
Yeah.
I will put
Getting the thumb drives in time.
I will put my name on it. I will come and I will sit behind the counter.
You'll hang out there.
and I'll hang out. And I mean, I'll ring up people. And, things.
It's
like
not
that.
beneath you, is what you're saying.
No, absolutely not. I would definitely be involved.
But it's more of a licensing deal. It's like
it's a lot, yeah.
it's
Like
like
the Bo
Tom
Boys
Sandoval
present-
with the
okay.
bar. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bo Boys present. I don't know what the name is for the bookstore movie theater yet, but we're gonna come up with something good by the end of the episode, I think.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
So that's great. I got it. I got to get out to the motherland. I got to get out to Italy and see.
Are you
some movies.
Italian?
Oh yeah, of course.
Big
I'm from
time Italian?
I'm from the old neighborhood.
Brett, don't pretend you can't tell.
You're right.
Come
It's
on.
stupid of me.
Yeah.
It's really ridiculous of me.
Yeah.
So
I wish you had the technology to do a hard zoom on Pat at that
Yeah.
moment.
I mean, the technology exists, but
You can see that he has a dry piece of pasta hang out of his mouth like a hayseed does with a piece of straw.
Yeah.
We take it out in post.
I mean, famously, I still have a lawsuit against Green Book for the way it portrayed Italians.
Yeah.
That was marinara
Marinara
face.
face.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to Valalonga's follow up? What happened to that? The Mamma Mia, Mi Amore, what's it called?
Yeah, it's
That's Amore, I think
we
it's
need
called.
Amore. Yeah, listen, he's an Academy Award winning screenwriter.
He has two.
He has
Academy
2
Awards.
Academy Awards, and he will be back. He will be back. So
Sounds like a threat.
It does sound
he
like
will
a threat.
be
Yeah.
that his next movie trailer must read as a threat. The guy who wrote Green Book.
Now,
Yeah.
and I know we have to get to what we want to talk about
We have to
today,
get to it.
but
But
Sinners. We haven't talked to Brett about Sinners. And
Oh, yeah.
Sinners, I mean, come on. The big
Huge.
question
Yeah.
on everybody's lips, will it be profitable?
You say lips, I think cunnilingus, which is what Sinners is all about, frankly.
yes.
Yes.
How much of a factor do you think that was in the legs of the box office?
I mean, I think the cunnilingus in the legs was a big deal. For
I think
sure.
word got out. And all the ladies showed up, and at cunnilingus, if you were to like chart how much cunnilingus is going on in the country, I think it's
Skyrocketed.
skyrocketing.
Oh, for sure. And some people are going to say, well, the cunnilingus went up on a big incline only 2 weeks after Minecraft came out. No. It's because of Sinners. Even though they did come out within a couple of weeks of each other.
The pussy jockey.
Well, that's the thing. That's why people get confused. They think wasn't it called Pussy Jockey? No. It was Chicken Jockey. Sinners is the movie that had the cunnilingus in it, not a Minecraft movie, which did come out again like 3 weeks before. So that's why the chart does.
Now I'm
confuse
picturing
people.
Jack Black and Sinners. Sammy. That'd be really interesting.
I could see. Listen, I could see him spitting in someone's mouth.
So what if, and not to spoil this movie that's been out forever and now is on PVOD
and VHS.
Yeah,
and
you
VHS. But what if they are drawn outside by the siren song of the D?
Oh, Tenacious D.
Oh my God! I didn't think that movie could get better, but you just fixed it.
And they're playing Explosivo, and you're just like,
what's the name of this game? Explosivo. Yeah, fuck yeah, hell yeah.
And then it's just like,
dude, Lee. You throw Lee in there.
You throw Lee. Friendship is rare.
Dude, yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
My derriere.
Playing the whole album.
Yeah, do the whole album.
Yeah. So
you got time in the runtime to do the whole album.
That's why people get confused about that April increase in worldwide cunnilingus. They think it's Minecraft movie,
but it's
Sinners.
Not.
Jack Black was not in Sinners. He was in a Minecraft movie. A lot of confusion about that. But I mean, that's the thing. Sinners, giant hit. Final Destination, Bloodlines, biggest of the franchise. Now we got 28 years later. We got Megan in
2.0.
2.0 next week.
Yeah,
I mean,
unbelievable.
Horror can we say it's bigger than ever?
Totally. Black Phone 2 is on the horizon. Wow. And it's got a winter makeover. It's got me interested in a movie that I fucking hated. So it's going to be big. If people who hated it are going to see it. Horror is thriving as it always is. Isn't that the conversation that happens every time I'm here?
Every time you're here, because there's always some bozo who has just made some kind of grand statement.
I forgot that we got to my Italy conversation by me making a mortadella joke, and then
after I mentioned baloney. But there's always someone out there who's just
saying,
horror's dead. And then we look at the box office, and there's 5 new hit horror movies that are out that are basically keeping movie theaters alive.
And listen, I'm not going to tell you any internal metrics or anything. I work at yahoo.com, and I'm involved in like front page programming. And, when there's a new trailer out, we'll put it up. And I can just tell you from like anecdotal experience that there's like huge demand for 28 years later. There's like it's transcended movie people, and it's like total normies. The people who are on yahoo.com daily are like super interested in commenting on every article about every trailer and talking about how excited they are for this movie because they're a huge fan of the original. And I think it's going to overperform. I think it's going to overperform because of that. But there's also reasons why I think it's going to maybe have a strong weekend and then kind of fucking drop like a normal horror movie.
Yeah,
so we'll talk about these things.
You did see this movie, but just real quick before we even get into 28 years later.
How much you get paid at Yahoo? That's what you're going to ask, right, Pat?
No, I was going to ask the Yahoo
that's a
audience.
That's like a horrible question.
The Yahoo audience. The Yahoo audience.
I don't know why Pat would ask me that.
Pat, I mean, come on, Pat.
I'll walk right off. I'll leave.
Know,
I'll leave.
But the Yahoo audience are they the best barometer of just the average mainstream moviegoer at this point? I mean, I feel like they might be, because
Yeah, well, I
is-
feel like not the average moviegoer makes it sound like they go to movies more than they do. I feel like
the average American.
yes, like the
Is
average.
Yahoo the
yeah,
best
yeah, I do
meeting
think so.
place now for the average American?
Yeah, I do think so. Like we do prize being purple, so to speak, in that
Mhm.
politically we try to be just like unpolitical. We're just like
Right.
here's what's happening in the world, and so be it, or whatever. We're going to present it to you.
That's the tagline, and so be it.
And
Yahoo, here's what's happening, and so be it.
Yeah.
yeah, they're gonna love this marketing that they're getting, I'm sure.
I'm saying it all in a positive way, that Yahoo
Yes.
is
Yes.
where the modern day kitchen table is, on yahoo.com.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Mhm.
on Reddit. It's not on 4chan.
100%.
It's not on, YouTube.
Yeah.
It's on Yahoo. That is your average.
What's your guys'
mom.
homepage on your browser?
It's Yahoo.
Is this too
Yahoo.
personal a question? Oh my god.
Well, you know what? I for us, it's probably not Yahoo, but we're not the average American. We're coastal elites.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's brooklynvegan.com
it's
or
Brooklyn
something?
Vegan. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I still, and I only want reports about shows that took place in 2011.
Mine is still hipster runoff.
Yeah, well, Brooklyn Vegan's got you covered on just like reposts of shows from like a year or 10 years ago. They're like, hey, we took photos of this show 10 years ago. Do you remember?
And I want to see it.
Yeah.
So we're,
And you were in the front row.
and I was there.
Yeah.
And I could, that's
No,
what was
you're
there.
you're
Look
James
at that.
Murphying right now.
So-
You were there.
I was there. So, but for the average, Joe Lunchpail, their
Yes.
yahoo.com is the homepage. So the
Yeah.
fact that 28 years later trailer is doing gangbusters on yahoo.com.
Like multiple
that's a
times.
great
Every
sign.
time there was a new anything, we put it up, and it was like everyone's like, "Fuck yeah, I can't wait." They're so
Now,
excited.
compared to what was a movie that got more of a muted response that has
I
come
mean,
out?
most of them, man. Like we
Okay.
don't. Most of them, like that one really popped in a way that made me go, "Oh, this is interesting." Like why? Like I would have never have guessed. Like I know people like that movie,
Mhm.
but like that movie, I guess it shows that 28 Days Later is like an iconic horror movie in the vein of like you could say it in the same sentence as like I'm talking about iconic horror movies like The Exorcist, like any other older classic. I feel like it's like up there because everyone has seen that movie. It's not just movie people that have seen it. You can reference that movie in casual conversation and everyone will know what you're talking about. It was a huge pop culture thing despite being this weird experimental Danny Boyle, really visually compelling and interesting, but also shot on digital in a weird way. I don't know.
Can I ask a question,
Yeah,
not to go
please.
against your thesis, because obviously I do think that you're probably correct in what you're saying, but do you think there's any confusion with the Sandra Bullock rehab movie,
Yeah,
28 Days?
that's been a thorn in the side of the franchise from the beginning. I think.
Right.
I think what no one talks about is the box office success of 28 Days Later being the baked in Sandy Bullock factor, that people showed up thinking it was going to be Sandy Bullock 28 Days Later. She's off the wagon again.
Yeah, right. I mean, because
Yeah.
the relapses happen and it's fine.
That's fine.
We're all
That was the tagline, actually.
Relapse
for the sequel.
happened,
Relapse
that's
happen. It's fine.
Yeah.
But has there been any comments about where's Sandy?
Well, that would have been in the original 28 Days Later.
But this could be 28 years after the original.
Like a legacy
28
sequel for
days.
28
This
days.
is her character 28 years later.
And guess
So
what?
She's
off the wagon again.
she's off the wagon.
And she's
now,
been off the
28
wagon for like 27 years. So she's in bad shape.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's like a heaven knows what Safdie style situation.
Yes, absolutely. And she looks like one of the zombies in this movie. So people are like, which one's Sandy? Because that's what they're thinking.
Well, in the 28 Years Later trailer, everyone was trying to pick out, is that zombie in the background? Is that Cillian Murphy?
Yes.
So you think there's some people who watch this trailer trying to pick out, is there another zombie in
Is
the
that
background?
drunk Sandy
Is
or
that-
whatever her character name was from
That's her
28 Days?
ravaged from 28 years of drug use.
Oh,
Yeah.
so she's not even a zombie in this movie. She's
No.
just
The
ravaged.
movie's
from
actually about things
alcoholism.
beyond zombies in the world. You know, it's talking about
Wow.
other ways people debase themselves.
Yeah,
so to
numb
speak.
themselves. Yeah, absolutely.
Huh?
I mean, listen, if that is what gets some people interested in this, and that could be a real explanation for why the Yahoo audience has been so into this trailer, because middle America, Yahoo, average American audience, they're going to love Sandy Bullock.
Yeah.
So if they're confused and they think this is a Lega sequel to 28 Days, and they think Sandra Bullock might be a quote unquote zombie in the trailer who's just ravaged by relapse and alcoholism,
Yeah.
that's going to drive Yahoo traffic.
Well, she got really into bath salts.
Hey, listen, whatever it takes to make people think Sandy Bullock is in this zombie movie, that's going to help business.
Yeah.
So sure, let the confusion reign. Is this Universal? Oh no, this is Sony who's putting out.
It is
28
Sony. I
years
think it was
later.
like a bidding war situation, though, right? Like, I think it ended up back where it started. Like,
Okay.
Sony. I think Sony had it at the beginning too.
So yeah, let people think Sandy Bullock is in this movie. Who cares?
That's
cares?
that's a hashtag for this episode. That whole sentence you just said.
Let Sandy. Now, what about the Cillian Murphy factor, though? Because that was a huge part of when this trailer dropped. People did think Cillian Murphy's going to be in this
Yeah,
movie,
to the
or at
point
least
where
cameoed in the trailer.
That actor had to come out and say, "No, it's like me. I'm just a guy." But it felt so deliberate. Like he looks too much like an emaciated Cillian Murphy for that to happen. But then they were so forthright also about like, no, it's not him because Cillian Murphy, we have plans for him in this trilogy.
Yeah.
Which I think some people might be hearing for the first time, that the 28 years later movie is the start of a planned trilogy. And my main takeaway after seeing the movie, I don't know if this is a spoiler, but I don't think it is to say, I think people are going to be really pissed off that this is it's very much a part one.
Wow.
And I don't think they deliberately obfuscated that. They don't want people to know that. It's a class. This is like the third time I can think, or the fourth time. Well, what are recent examples of this? Dune, Wicked.
Mm-hmm.
There's
The
another one.
Spidey cartoon
Yes,
sequel.
Spider-Verse. So like, it's kind of that situation where like, I think people are going to be justifiably kind of like, what at the end of this movie? The ending of this movie, I won't talk about today, but like, it's confusing in a way, and I think people that don't know it's the start of a trilogy, and are going to be very confused especially because the movie doesn't do what you'd expect it to do and end with a title card that says like, the Bone Temple will return in the Bone Temple next year or whatever. It doesn't do that. It just like expects you to know, I think, that there's another one coming. And I feel like 90% of people that see this opening weekend are going to have no idea until they sit down and watch it and Google it after, because I feel like the movie doesn't even really give it away until the final minutes. You're like, what is going on right now?
Well, also, they should Yahoo it after.
They
Let's
should,
clarify
yeah,
that.
definitely. They should Yahoo search it after.
Yes, they
after
should not
they
Google it.
Right, and then they should write an email on Yahoo Mail when they want to discuss it further.
Yes, and go to the Yahoo message boards. Yes, that is.
And then you should like, email somebody at Yahoo and say, "Get Yahoo Answers back," and so you can participate in that. But we don't have that.
You get
anymore.
a piece of that. You get a taste.
Every answer, I get a kickback. Yeah.
Perfect. And listen, this man, again, right before he got on air, he put a baby to sleep.
Yeah.
So he needs that
I
Yahoo Answers kickback. So
Yeah.
Now you are a critic, huh?
Huh?
The embargo is lifted,
It is lifted.
so you are able.
I'm free.
You're free to criticize to your
Yeah.
heart's content,
I
which
am.
you've already started to do.
Yeah. Sorry.
Now, no, we love this. So you're saying the ending could cause issues with people because they
Oh
might be
yeah.
upset.
My friends and I were doing a guess the cinema score based on how strange it ends. Like it's like,
Ooh.
oh, people are gonna walk out going like, what?
wow.
So up to that point, though,
Up to that point, I'm into it, kind of.
Okay.
I love Danny Boyle, and it's very much like visually interesting. It's shot by the same cinematographer. They used iPhone, so it has like a very unique look that totally fits the aesthetic of the original movie, but it kind of makes it more modern, so it doesn't look like it was shot on a fucking potato like the other movie does. There's a lot to like about it. There's also some things not to like about it. I think the movie gets really great in the second half. Like Ray Fiennes enters the movie, and it's like, oh, this just became really interesting. It's more like less of a zombie action movie and more of a like contemplative let's talk about death movie, which I think is going to piss people off too. But it's got some good zombie shit in it too, so I'm very curious to see what people think of it. I'm very, again, we're like my critic pals and I are like, what's the cinema score going to be, what are people going to think about this? Like, I am very intrigued, especially because of what I was talking about. Like, I was going into it like this movie's going to be huge, and now I'm like, is it going to be hurt by how weird it is? Which is possible, at least in like second weekend. But I feel like it still could have a overperforming based on whatever they're saying it's going to do opening.
Yeah, because this is an interesting legacy situation, because when you look at something like Bloodlines is a is a Final Destination movie.
Right.
In the greatest way. It is maybe one of the best ones. I would say
it's as good of a version of that series as you could get, but it is very much the exact same template as all the other movies.
Yeah, where I think these movies, the 28 days movies, 28 days later, and then the second one and this one, like, they are always more about other stuff than the zombies.
Yeah,
like,
they're always like well, zombie movies always are about like modern whatever the fuck's going on, you know.
But
it's
these
like,
ones specifically, they're not.
Sure.
It's not put on them afterwards the way some zombie movies have stuff put on them, or some horror movies have stuff put on them. They were thinking about these things as they were being made.
Yeah, 100%. 28 Days Later is about, you know, what does it devolve into by the end? Like, isn't it man who's worse than these zombies? Like, it's got big ideas about humanity, and the second one's got big ideas about like military industrial complex and like what it looks like when the military would take over and is in charge. And you know, it's all, you're right, you're totally right.
So if you know this franchise, you know what you're getting into, in the sense that you don't necessarily know what you're getting into, right? So but is that easily sort of marketed to a Yahoo subscriber?
Well, I feel like part of these movies appeal, I feel like, in my mind at least, don't people see these as like art house horror that kind of broke through? Like, it's like 28 Days Later, yes, I feel like people really liked it because they felt smart. Well, you know what I mean? You know, it was tracking what I'm saying, where it's like 28 Days Later feels like a more high-minded horror movie that, again, like, got really good reviews and like could feasibly be nominated for awards because it was such a good movie.
Yes.
And like, people are so mean to the genre that like they feel it makes them feel smart to say, oh, my favorite horror movie is 28 Days Later. I feel like, you know what I mean?
And those movies came out in a time where elevated horror wasn't a thing anybody was talking about at all. Like, elevated horror now is a normalized term.
Yes.
So much
Scream is making fun of it, right?
Exactly. So that's the thing, is like, if Scream is making fun of it, you know that it's become a trope.
Yeah.
And so when those movies came out, they were an elevated horror. I mean, right? Because Exorcist, of course, now it's like the most elevated of all horror movies, because it was, you know, nominated for Oscars and all that stuff. But after that, everything else just sort of seemed like, oh, it's schlocky and this and that.
Yeah.
And so I do think that audiences are more ready for a movie like this.
Well, I think, though, 28 Days Later, it opened to 10 million, ended up making 45 million. It was a big hit on its budget.
Yes.
We're comparing, and the second one was a kind of failure compared to the first one. So what we're looking at now is, can this movie open at about the total that the first movie made? We're looking for this franchise to make a big jump. You know, the Final Destination Bloodlines.
Oh yeah, the jump to 50,
series,
right? Yeah,
but those movies were mainstream hits.
Yeah, I do not think it's going to do Final Destination Bloodlines numbers, even though for a minute there I thought it might. I feel like the tracking has it at what, like 30?
It's around 30. Yeah.
I feel like I would not be surprised to see it do 40, 50. But if it comes in at 30, like I would also go, okay, like that's that. I guess they were right. But I want to be right that it's going to overperform to that level. But I mean, who's to say? How can you know?
For
The
a
Yahoo
horror movie,
effect.
for a horror movie to really break out, it's got to be a big teen and early 20s movie. And something like
Does the sleepover
Bloodlines-
thing happen here too? Did people watch this at sleepovers? They must have. It was like such a DVD that everybody had. 28
That's the
days
thing.
later.
They're not the 28 Days Later movies are not fun, goofy movies the way the Final Destination movies are, the way Freddy movies are, or Friday the 13th movies are. They are headier. So I don't know if this is really going to cross over in a major way to your teenagers and your 20-somethings on dates. Like, and that's where the big
guys
leap in
getting
my-
popcorn tub hand jobs.
yes,
Or
yes.
whatever.
or
Or
whatever.
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 But yes, you could imagine.
We're not policing.
We're
No.
not. You could imagine right now. All three of us could imagine someone doing the popcorn trick during Final Destination Bloodlines.
or
That
the,
is
or the
happening.
chip trick.
Or the chip
You
trick.
reach for a chip, you grab a nip.
Yeah,
We all know the chip trip.
you could imagine that happening during Bloodlines. I don't think I could imagine someone doing the popcorn.
Oh,
trick.
it would be such a somber, like, that movie has such moment. Like, I feel like 28 Days Later to me is I remember it as like punctuated by such loud jump scares,
Mhm.
and that's preceded by such silence. So not a great popcorn bucket chip nip situation.
We won't
Yeah.
get into the obviously because listen, we won't get into the logistics of the popcorn trick or the chip trick
Yeah, or the soda trick,
or the soda trick.
which is you really got to have suction on your.
Yeah.
Splash zone. Be
Yeah.
careful.
Yeah,
So the thing is with you don't want sudden movements, right? You don't want a sudden movement because that
Oh,
could
right.
damage
I'm
things.
I'm
Are
now
you
thinking,
see-
yeah,
You're thinking what I'm thinking, right, Brett?
totally. And now I'm like, has 4DX like crushed the popcorn trick industry?
You cannot do it in 40x. No, because it's dangerous.
I
You-
think
oh
you
my
just
God.
have to be prepared yourself to also move quick.
There could be some
in 40X.
penetration you're not expecting in 40X,
Mhm.
frankly.
Yeah. So I mean that
I mean, listen, for certain people, the 40X might make it even better. So
it's true.
But I don't think I see that happening during 28 years later, and I don't see this being. Well, I don't know. It is a zombie movie, and kids love zombies. I have a question about these zombies because
Some people would take offense that you call them that. I feel like it's a big annoying conversation people have
because
about
they're-
the high-minded, like I'm saying, the high-mindedness of it, the horror movie. Some people would be like, "Oh, they're not zombies; they're infected. They're just sick humans."
right, that just have all the traits of zombies and pass it along the same way. But the difference is the big revolution in the original 28 Days Later is that the zombies became fast.
Fast, yeah.
Yeah, fast,
Are they? And the embargo's lifted. so
free
you can tell us
ad-supported streaming.
Are they fast?
Yeah.
Are the zombies still fast, Brett? In 28 years later.
Oh yeah, there's I don't want to give away too much, but there's like it's been years. There's evolutions of infected.
Are they faster than ever? They're faster than they were 28
I don't
years ago.
I don't want to say too much, but yeah, there's
Okay.
there's some variants. I will say,
Wow. Okay.
and I think that stuff is all cool and interesting and fun and nasty and cool. I liked all that.
So are they like Usain Bolt fast? These infected.
Yeah, they actually do a lot of 50-yard dashes in this.
I would love to see that, if not in this first one, at some point in this trilogy.
Zombie Olympics.
Is a Zombie Olympics.
Oh my God, the high jump, long
Yeah.
jump, they would do really well.
Yeah. I would love to, because this zombie series or infected series, whatever it is, it's so much about the speed of the zombies.
Yeah.
And I think it's time to have that be in a competitive Olympic type scene in these movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Although I wouldn't, you should
And you
probably
play the Chariots of Fire music
Yeah.
over it.
If you can get the rights.
Yeah.
But then the thing is that you mostly want to stick to like running based stuff, because if they try to throw the javelin, I mean, arms going with it.
All running.
Arms going
all
with
running.
it, you know what I mean?
All running.
Yeah.
And you could set up the obstacles and they just run straight through them and it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think them being fast has not seemed to be a big part of the marketing for this movie. And I wonder if that is a mistake, that they haven't been reminding people, hey, these zombies are fast. Because zombies went back to being slow.
They should do a collab with F1 is what you're saying. I think is what you're building to.
Yeah. Yeah.
What could be faster?
What could be if you had a commercial where you had Brad Pitt in his F1 race car and you had one of these infected
Death Racing 2000ing them.
Yep. And they're side by side and they look at each other and then you see who's about to throw down the flag to start the race. It's Vin Diesel.
Okay.
Okay.
It's
I like
Vin
where you went with
Diesel.
that. Yeah, yeah.
It's Vin Diesel. And he throws down the flag and he's like, race.
The
And then
movies.
race in the movies. And then it's Brad Pitt in his F1 car, one of these infected, down a track. You don't see who wins because it's like that thing. The movie companies can't pick one of them to be the winner.
Right.
But then it says see F1, see 28 years later in theaters.
And you
now.
could do this with AI in like 10 minutes.
Yes.
Not even.
I mean, that is how I would do it.
However long it takes
Make
to
it look
write
like-
the prompt.
Make it look like a Studio Ghibli cartoon.
Yeah.
Now, what you just
And then the last frame of it is, of course, Will Smith eating spaghetti.
yeah, what you just described sounds like a scene from a Seltzer and Freeberg movie that hasn't come out yet.
Oh, 28
Where-
years later?
Yeah, and then Vin Diesel's character, when he's doing the flag, has booty shorts on, and you see it like riding up his butt.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Borat falls into
Borat?
frame.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah. Well, that's how they have to say it in the Seltzer and Friedberg version.
Yeah.
Because
Because it's only from two of the 6 writers of Scary Movie. It's not the real ones.
Yeah, they don't own the right. They own the rights to Borat.
Yeah.
And
From the dudes who brought you.
yes, that's when you know you've got a great trailer, when it's from the dudes who brought you something.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it would make a great Seltzer and Friedberg movie, but I do think that would make a great tie-in commercial for both F1 and 28 Years Later, because they're also known for being fast, and it's just so natural. But they haven't really emphasized the speed in this movie. Do you think that they just have maybe done some testing beforehand and they know that audiences don't care about the speed of these zombies?
What would your ideal trailer look like that showcases the speed of
I just described it. It's them racing a car.
Okay.
And it's all about...
You don't want them like on treadmills, with a bunch of wires on, like doing tests.
Oh,
see
and
how
then they
fast.
rip everything off. They burst out of the gym, and then they start biting. They bite you have the guy who's like measuring their speed, the scientist, and then they're on the treadmill, and then they just pull everything off, and they just bite the scientist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's your trailer.
That's a good trailer.
Good trailer.
But yeah, it's a very artsy trailer. They keep replaying that poem is playing in the background, and it's a lot of images. It doesn't feel like a party, this movie,
No.
in the way that Bloodlines felt like a party, in the way that kind of Sinners felt like a party.
Yeah, and I mean, like, Megan 2 feels like a party. I mean, that is the thing, is like, it does feel like a bit of a bummer, which, nobody really wants a bummer at the moment.
Well, Brett, what do you think, though? Do people kind of want a bummer right now in these times?
I don't
In
know.
these
It is
times,
definitely a
Captain?
bummer. And I don't know how that will go over. I mean, I appreciated what it was getting at. It definitely feels like it's commenting on a lot of current events. I'll say
Mhm.
that. So it does everything you expect it to do, and it does a lot of it well. I just have some issue. I have just like a fundamental problem with the fact that when you get down to it, it's like Act 1 of a 3-part thing that they frankly are not telling people that's what it is.
Okay.
So I think it's like inherently a little disappointing if you're expecting like, I don't know, a complete thought of a movie. But I did enjoy watching it. So I don't know. I'm like
Now,
mixed on it.
can I ask about cast?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
you already mentioned Ray Fiennes, correct?
Yeah.
In it,
Ray Foyne.
Ray Foyne, and he is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron
Ask
Taylor.
Chelsea lately about that.
Oh wow. Okay.
Okay.
Breaking news.
Oh, did you guys didn't hear about that?
No.
Ray Fiennes and what's her name, Chelsea Handler, were like a rumored thing because they got into a cab together after the Oscars at like 2 a.m. or something.
Wow.
I feel they both have commented on it, and I'm not sure where that stands. But
Was that a big
yeah.
story on the homepage of Yahoo?
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah, of course, of
Okay.
course.
And was there engagement?
There was
a lot of
engagement. There was engagement.
Okay.
There was
Yeah.
engagement.
See, Brooklyn Vegan did not report on that, so that's why I didn't know.
You didn't
that
get
happened.
there.
Yeah.
And Hipster Runoff hasn't been updated since 2013. So Aaron Taylor Johnson
Mm-hmm. Say his name.
had,
ATJ.
yeah, ATJ as he's known to the kids.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yep. Tiger Beat magazine cover boy, probably, if Tiger Beat still exists. And
Is
had
that Tiger beating off? Is that what that's about?
Tiger Beating Off magazine. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So he had Craven, which is a movie, but also a disease.
Mm-hmm.
And there's people who still don't think that movie has come out. And if you have someone like that in your cohort,
Mm-hmm.
do not tell them that it already came out.
You can direct them to Netflix where it is right now, or you don't have to. Actually, you should.
If you feel comfortable getting in a confrontation with somebody, if you feel like you can handle it, otherwise call the proper authorities.
Yes.
Have them bring the giant net and grab them. Now, but he was also in Nosferatu, a big hit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now he's in
Yeah.
this. Does this do anything for his stock?
Well, I guess, Brett, how is
Yeah.
he in this movie, and does he give a star performance? I mean, this is a guy who they still want to maybe be able to play James Bond. Does his performance in 28 years later put him on a path to Bond?
Thank
I
you for
don't-
that elaboration, Pat. Does this help his stock?
I don't really know if it does. He doesn't make too much of an impression. I don't think, he's good. Yeah, he's not in the movie as much as you probably think he is based on the marketing.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like the movie's about a lot of things, and it's like that's just one small section, honestly, of it. So he didn't make that much of an impression. But I don't think against the man.
Okay. Wow.
I think his stock
I
is
don't
okay.
hold. That is not a star making. So
I don't have
we-
anything against the man.
we were talking about.
Put that on the poster.
We were talking about Clueless, I think, before we started recording, or maybe who knows? With Brett, when it comes on, it's just free flowing, so we don't know when the show starts or ends.
Yes.
But when people saw that performance by Alicia Silverstone, they didn't say, what did you say, Brett?
I don't have anything.
I don't have
against
anything
her.
against her. They didn't say I don't
Yeah.
have anything against her. They said, OMG, oh my gosh,
Right. Right.
As if
as if,
Beverly.
on the all the people who were getting Tiger Beat Off magazine were like going nuts over this performance.
Right. After Titanic, people weren't saying about Leo, I don't have anything against.
I don't have anything against him.
Yeah, they were a little stronger in their praise than that. So does not
Yeah, you're
sound
not
like
going
this
to
is
get. No, I haven't ever felt strongly about ATJ in that way. And
Okay.
I love to feel strongly about an actor. I feel strongly about Ray Fiennes in this movie. I think he gives one of just such a great, comes in and just completely changes the energy of the movie and is so delightful, but also very haunting. It's so good.
I
Okay.
feel like
Fine,
this-
Ray Fiennes. Oh,
I feel like this movie, because there's already been rumblings about this, that he should have won the Oscar for Conclave. And I think this performance is going to make more people say, we made the wrong choice.
Okay. Okay. Is this a movie? This is a serious horror movie, artsy horror movie. Is there possible Oscar performances in this? Could you see Ray Fiennes getting a nom 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 for this movie? He changes the chemistry of the movies, you say. So that seems like
I would love if this movie got Oscar attention, but the Oscars really don't like the genre. So I don't know if the substance is going to change it that much and to the degree that 28 years later will get nominated. I don't think it's an Oscar movie. I do not.
Okay. So there's not really an actor in this movie who's going to be a draw.
You know what? There's like I'm assuming he's new and like a kid. But the lead is a kid and he's really good.
The lead is a kid.
His name. Oh, I'm about to figure out this kid's name. Hold on. The lead is a kid named.
Not Disney's
Alfie Williams. It's a debut film. He's not in anything else.
Oh, Alfie's a good name for a kid. It's going to be tough when he gets older.
His name in the movie is Spike, which is pretty cool.
I've never met a kid named Spike that wasn't cool.
I know, it's so cool. When we were having a baby, we didn't know the gender, and we were trying to come up with boy names, and it was so hard. But it just was really easy right now. It's Spike.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Did Alfie ever come up as a possibility?
Actually, yeah, everything was discussed. I'll say that.
Wow.
Every name under the sun.
What about Bebop and or Rocksteady?
I did consider naming my daughter after the racist Transformers, but we didn't. Is that what those are?
No, Bebop and Rocksteady are the mutated henchmen of Shredder and the.
Oh, that's right. TMNT lore. Yes, I'm familiar. Okay.
Yeah.
But they're probably racist, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they're based on an ethnicity that they shouldn't be. So this movie, I guess the thing that it just has going for it is the trailer
IP
and the nostalgia for the IP. Yeah. And what about?
They're really dangling Cillian Murphy too. They're like, if you go see it, he's in the third one, but the third one only gets made if you go see it. Like I've seen that sentiment out there, and I'm like, who's putting that out there? It's so funny
that we need to power this to the one where we get Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, exactly. They're like he's introduced in the second one, but the third one will be about him, and it's like, okay, if you say so.
That didn't work with Saturday Night, where they they had the original
1975 cast. Can we get it to the Wayne's World cast?
Can we get the Wayne's World cast, which would have been the third movie?
Yeah.
Because you had to go through the Eddie Murphy movie, the Eddie Murphy seasons for the sequel.
Yeah.
So that didn't work.
It doesn't.
So why would this work?
Yeah, guilting people into a movie that they want to see eventually never works for the current movie.
No.
But
did you know that Tia Carrera, whatever her name is, Wayne's World, is in Lilo and Stitch right now? Is that why you brought it up?
No, I mean it's just that's our cast. That's my cast. Yeah. Hashtag that is my cast.
Our cast, yeah.
So,
but swing.
So, zombies, just as a property themselves, are they hot right now, or has the endless Walking Dead, and we are not the basic cable boys, but there has been, since there was a 28 years later movie years ago, there have been about 40 seasons of various Walking Dead TV shows, spinoffs.
Yeah.
Where are zombies as far as horror monsters right now?
Well, Last of Us is zombies, although they're spur.
Again, they're also infected, right?
They're infected.
They're infected.
Yeah. And I think zombies are out and infected is in. I think COVID parallels make it so it's going to be more as realistic as possible for people. It's going to be sickness. Like rewatching 28 Days post COVID is wild because it opens with, I don't know if you remember, it's like activists freeing chimps, and the chimps have a virus and then it spreads, and it's like that's kind of that's COVID was. Yeah. That's what happened.
That's what happened. Yeah.
If you believe most things I feel like about it, they have come out or say that that's what happened.
That's what happened. Yeah.
So yeah, it's I think that's what it is. And the zombies out, infected in, put it in your calendar.
Wow. Okay, so then that's good for this movie series that they are infected, not
it's going to be
zombies.
It's going to be long COVID in future movies.
Wow. Okay. I mean, we'll see how Eddington does though in a couple of weeks, because if Eddington bombs, they may.
Which it absolutely is going to.
Oh yes, I mean we are in agreement on this. That is going to be an absolute disaster.
Yeah, it is going to make. Is it going to make less than Beau is Afraid? Is it going to?
Yes, it will make.
Is it going to cry macho?
Here's the thing about
Fly to the
Eddington
moon.
is it does have Emma Stone, but it really is not.
Emily Stone is in it?
It
Yes.
is not putting her front and center in the promotion, and I don't know if that's maybe her people work that out. Like, do not put Emma Stone first in this trailer.
Yeah.
She did as a favor, whatever, but do not promote this on her. But they are not really using the fact that they have Emma Stone in this movie.
No.
They're not even really using the fact that they have Austin Butler.
No.
They're just saying, hey, we got the guy who was last in Joker Folie à Doo.
Yes.
That is what we're leading with.
People are just so
that
excited.
and COVID. That is, and you will get to relive COVID.
And a guy who got leg lengthening surgery.
The guy from Grandma's Boy with the metal legs?
Yes, he's in this.
He's in this. So
Joel David Moore?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Eddington does feel like that's going to be a giant tankaroo. And if that does bomb, a big COVID movie.
Well, 2 bombs in a row for Astor. Are they gonna make him walk the plank?
I mean, I think then that's where he's got to go back and do the Hereditary sequel.
Hereditary 2. This time it's personal.
Yeah. Hereditary 2. The head's coming back.
Hereditary
2. Yeah,
and it's a 2D movie.
Yeah.
Hereditary.
Oh, that's the thing, is that
Yeah.
it's 2D animation?
Yeah.
Okay. I think if you do a Hereditary 2, if Eddington bombs, Ari Aster is now has to do a sequel to get another movie.
Midwinter.
Oh,
Yeah.
you could do the Midsummer sequel Midwinter, because see what Miss
Snow.
is up
Snow is
to.
big. Black Phone 2 is going to be huge with the snow.
Yeah, you could do Midwinter, Miss Flo, or you could do Hereditary,
Mm-hmm.
and the little girl's back and she's holding her own head, and there's your villain. Yeah, she's back
Yeah.
for revenge.
I mean, that's
Her
sort of like
and Paimon or have a alliance of some kind.
Mhm.
that would be as big of a betrayal as bringing like Iron Man back to the MCU, don't you think?
If you brought the Hereditary girl back with her head,
it would just totally take away the
Tony
impact
Collette.
of.
Tony Collette's there too, holding her head.
Yeah, like it'd be such a
Yes.
take back the sacrifice of both those brave women.
But imagine that trailer, Hereditary, and it's both Tony Collette and whoever that actress was who played the little girl who goes,
Yeah.
whoever she is. And the trailer opens and they're both holding their own heads under their arm, and then they put the heads back on.
2 heads are better than
And they-
none.
and-
2 heads are better than none. Yeah.
And they put them on the wrong bodies at first.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Well-
So it's a comedy. So it's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Yeah, it's taking
right.
the piss. It's taking the piss.
taking-
Yeah,
It's
just
having a laugh.
It's having a laugh. Yeah. So yeah, I think Eddington's going to bomb, and Ari Aster is going to have to go to the rebooting his old franchises. But we have one other movie coming out this weekend.
Millie Shapiro is the young
I knew that. I just
actress
didn't want to
name.
big man you guys and say it. I just let it. I let it slide.
You're the chief horror correspondent. When it
I
comes
want to make
to-
it known that I knew it.
Yeah.
I believe that you do it,
Belatedly.
and we want you to drop knowledge like that.
I
when
almost
you
said
have-
Millie Bobby Brown as a joke because I knew it was Millie Shapiro, but I knew that you guys didn't know it was Millie Shapiro, so the joke wouldn't really have landed. You would have just thought I was saying it, I thought it was Millie Bobby Brown. It just felt like too much trouble.
It felt, but
Well,
you know
we
what?
would have gone with it because I know,
We
Pat-
know that you know.
we know,
and
yeah.
that's all that matters.
And I did one level of UCB, so I could do improv. I could go along with it.
Wow.
I could and that. I would have
Yeah.
said yes.
I find that disgusting, but
Did
I
you watch
say-
the
I don't
improv
yes and,
movie?
I say
Did
no.
you watch the improv movie on the Streamo this weekend? The deep cover?
Oh, the one with Orlando Bloom
Yeah, the everyone's favorite improv comedian Orlando Bloom and Bryce Dallas Howard.
and
star in it.
yes.
I did not watch it, but I heard you give it a rave review on
It was
Broadway Me.
it was funny. It was surprisingly funny for a Streamo movie that we shouldn't be talking about.
Okay. Will that affect the box office of 28 years later this
Oh, I
weekend?
think it's ruined because Deep Cover is in its second weekend. Yeah,
Okay. They do have to take that into account.
they do. They do.
Now, Elio. We have not said the name Elio yet on this show, but that is a Pixar movie getting wide release this weekend. And the question is, will this be the lowest grossing domestic opening weekend of all time for a Pixar movie. I think the record is the original Toy Story, 29 million. Of course, that's not fair because that's their first movie and it's 30 years ago. And maybe Elemental was around 28 or 29 million.
But it had
Yeah, then it
that
legged
had
out
legs.
so hard. Yeah, we all felt like fools for our pontificating on that one.
Yeah.
We were
I
all
still
wrong.
I don't.
You
feel
probably
like a
were
fool.
right.
I don't feel like
The
a
O
fool.
boys probably got it right.
Well, I nailed it. Clayton was never, he never acknowledged the legs of Elemental.
29.6 was what Elemental opened to.
What's Elio tracking at?
It's right around that. It's tracking at around 30.
It's to 20 to 30, Pat.
Wow. So
Yeah, I think so. It is a fight between 28 years and Elio, and it could be either one takes the weekend.
Well, I mean, Dragon's probably going to be number one.
Oh shit, that's
'Cause-
right.
And then you
With like
think
45 or
Dragon,
something. Yeah.
And then you have Lilo and Stitch still going strong.
Well, we'll do our top fives, but let's on Elio.
But I'm just saying there's competition here.
There's competition for the kid audience. This is an original. It's not, a sequel like Inside Out 2 was or some of the other recent Pixar hits.
Good
It's
for
an
Eve
original.
6, by the way.
Good for who?
Eve 6 on Inside Out 2.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for them.
It's when Metallica put out Unforgiven 2, I was like, is any other band going to do sequels to their songs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, finally.
And then finally, it took what? That came out on Load.
Yeah.
Load 2?
Yeah, it was a long
Oh,
time
Reload.
ago.
It was on
It was
Reload.
on Reload. Yeah, of course. The
That's right.
album of sequel songs.
Yeah.
So cool. More bands should do that.
So Elio, on the last episode, we did the brand integration discussion for How to Train Your Dragon, and they had incredible
Oh,
brand integration.
I could speak on this right now,
Oh,
actually.
can you do that right now?
I had the tie-in Burger King menu item yesterday, in fact, of the How to Train. Like, you guys are stunned speechless right now. I had the fiery mozzarella fries, which are just mozzarella sticks, but they call them fries because that's part of their branding, is to just call everything a fry and shape it like a fry. And I gotta say, it's the only item I've had at Burger King in a decade or more that was like actually prepared. It was prepared when I got it. Like, it was not just like nuked and left around and then thrown on a tray and given to me. They like just pulled these out of the fryer and handed them to me. I don't know if I got lucky or what. The rest of the meal was not as fortunate, but those mozzarella, fiery mozzarella, whatever
They're
the
still
fuck,
coming up. Still
They're
coming
good.
back up on you.
they're good.
Now, can I ask you?
Yeah.
So we were talking about fast zombies.
Yeah.
And Burger King is like I've said, fastest from food to waste of all of the. They're like the fastest zombies of fast food.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They go through you real
Real
they
fast.
run real fast.
Did you clock it? How long it took from mouth to potty?
Oh, I didn't even make it home.
Didn't even make it home.
No.
Yeah.
It was down my pant leg by
Yeah.
like halfway home.
There we go. You were eating your meal still.
Yeah, it
And
sort
it
of
was already
it was
escaping.
dribbling. Yeah.
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 Yeah. That's what they say now. It's dribbling. Burger King. It's dribbling.
Can you bring me a napkin? It's
yeah.
dribbling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you had this item. So you were made aware of this item from the movie.
Yeah, the movie, there was a part where Toothless stopped at Burger King and got his favorite item, which was the fiery mozzarella fries.
Nice.
And I was like, I gotta go. I gotta try those.
That is a perfect brand integration. And Clayton, you poo-pooed the Burger King aspect of this on the last episode.
They've
It
got
is poo-poo.
They've got custom Burger King crowns that are like Viking crowns.
Wow. So they went all out.
They did.
Went all out on this.
And they said, hey, if you're gonna use our branding, you can't just nuke shit and leave it around. You got to hand it to them hot, because this is the fiery mozzarella fries, and it's all about dragons. And if it doesn't have the heat, what the fuck are we even doing?
Mm-hmm.
And you might not get that kind of commitment out of McDonald's, because when you do a brand integration with McDonald's, obviously they are the number one fast food chain, but they're not making any extra effort for their movie tie-ins. They're like, we're McDonald's, we do what we do, we're gonna nuke this stuff.
They come to them. They come
That's
to
the thing.
Whereas
exactly.
Burger King,
They're the prize.
Burger King is the one that's got to work a little harder for it. And Burger King's gonna go the extra
I gotta
mile
say though, like when
and
I think
put
of
out.
when I think of collectible fast food bullshit over the years that I've bought when I was a kid, like my parents probably still have the Burger King Lord of the Rings glasses, and I can't recall any like McDonald's item that stuck around. Like I have multiple Burger King stupid bullshit, like Rugrats watch from the movie, like a bunch of stupid shit. So I don't know what my point is.
Burger
I eat a lot of crap food.
Burger King did some of the best ones where they did Alf hand puppets back in the day, and they were really good quality Alf hand puppets.
Okay.
And-
compared to other Alf hand puppets you've had that weren't as good quality.
Yes. Some of the ones that I bought in other places
Were not as good quality
not
as
as
the
good.
Burger King Alf puppet tie-in. So I did get a brand integration boots on the ground report from a OG wannabe O girl. She listened to the last episode, loved it, of course, loved the brand integration segment, said that's one of her favorite segments of all time.
Yeah.
And we did talk about, would Elio end up with a like Arby's tie-in? Are they going to be pushed even further down the line? Or are they going to be Wendy's? We theorized that it might be an Elio baked potato tie-in.
Yeah.
When in fact, this wannabe mama, she said that actually Elio does have a McDonald's tie-in. There was she took her daughter to McDonald's as a treat. She doesn't take her every day, but daughter must have done something good and she took her to McDonald's.
Yeah.
And there was an Elio toy in the Happy Meal. Then she followed up with, I asked her if she wants to see it, and she said, what month does it come out?
Ooh, that's rough.
But then
No awareness.
Then she told her what month it was, and this child is, I think, 4 years old. And the child said, yes, she does want to see it. After being told the date of release, then she did agree to go see Elio.
I wonder what the point of
asking what month it was.
Yeah, I wonder what the point. No, I mean, I wonder what the
booked or something.
Yeah, I wonder what
Possibly.
the point of like no return for like, oh, it comes out in August. I'm not interested.
Yeah,
like,
that's true. If they would have said September,
right? Well, kids do. When you're young, you change a lot every month. So
that's
she might
true.
Be thinking,
She
by
was
September,
preparing. Yeah,
I will have no interest in this. I'll be a totally different person, Mama. And by then, I will have zero Elio interest. But when
I want to see Nobody too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But she said it's this month, so then the kid was like, "Yeah, I'll probably be the same person in a week, so let's go see it."
Yeah.
So there is an Elio tie-in Happy Meal. So it does show Disney's trying. Disney isn't totally. They punted this a year. It's supposed to come out last year.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of rumor. I don't know if it's rumors, just kind of factual that it like was rewritten, taken away from the director, and given to other directors. There's a trailer from 2023 that's completely different. The 2025 trailer.
Wow.
It's kind of a debacle, but I saw it and it's not. It's like it's fine. It's good enough. It's good.
It's good enough.
Cute. Good
have
enough.
you seen all of the Pixar films?
I believe I have. Actually, no, I haven't seen The Good Dinosaur. I skipped. Okay. I never saw that one, and I've heard it's fine. I never caught up with it.
Where would you rank it then?
I don't know. I didn't like Elemental. What are more recent ones? I can't really.
Soul, Luca.
Not as good as Soul. Not as good as Luca.
Turning Red.
Turning Red is great. I don't think it's as good as Turning Red. The Turning Red director I think is the one that took over.
Okay.
This.
Okay. So
yeah.
But what I've heard, and you can confirm or deny, it is very much a kids movie, not a movie that'll also appeal to middle-aged people going on dates.
Yeah, I do agree with that. It does. The appeal of it to me that I liked about it was like, it was just a movie that's like trafficking in sci-fi tropes from movies that I've seen, but kids certainly haven't seen. Like it's doing, Contact or whatever the fuck it's doing. It's doing a million different sci-fi things. And I like seeing that in a Pixar movie. The visuals look really nice. It just definitely bears the markings of a movie that was reassembled for a year.
Is it junk sci-fi? Think of is it Strange World, right? Was that the movie that
I
bombed a
couldn't
few
stand that,
Thanksgiving,
but I like this, so I think it's better than that.
So, but is it like post-apocalyptic, dreary sci-fi,
No,
or is
no.
it happy sci-fi?
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's happy because it is about like kind of a boy with an existential crisis who doesn't feel like he belongs in the world, so he seeks another planet. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Like
This
it's
Disney. Disney acts like there's never been a happy kid in the world.
oh,
ever.
and you're not ask me if he has dead parents.
Does he have
course,
dead parents?
does-
Does he
dead
have dead
parents.
parents?
Of course he does. You don't even have to. Why'd you ask? Of course.
Well, because you asked me to ask, so I asked instead of doing like Clayton did, which is just talk over and say the answer. So I asked. So he does have dead parents, and is this a kid, this Elio, that you think children are gonna want to be? Because I think, or want to do what he does. Is he an aspirational?
Yeah,
kid with
it's
dead
kind of
parents?
a
Because you could be a kid with dead parents and other kids want to be you. Is
yeah. It's
Elio
like
that
a
kid?
zero
If
to
your name is
hero.
Spike, then
Yeah,
kids want to be you, no matter if your
100%.
parents are dead or not.
Yeah, it's kind of a zero to hero situation where it's a guy who isn't a cool guy, and by the end of the movie, he's exhibiting leadership qualities because it's a movie about I don't know if you know the premise of Elio, but it's like a little kid he wants to be like taken up by aliens, and they do come and take him, but they mistake him for like the leader of Earth because it's like a take me to your leader situation,
Right.
and he like goes with it, and then he's like doing like negotiations between other planets and stuff, and it's it's cute, but it also is also about some sad stuff too. So
And he's missing an eyeball, correct?
he gets into a fight early on and has like an eye patch, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But then there's like a clone that the difference between them is that the eyeball just isn't there.
Whoa.
Maybe I'm saying too much now.
Well, I was
No,
gonna
I love
ask
it. I'm
because
intrigued.
I've gotten in fights when I was a kid, and I never had to have a full-on eye patch. So did he get into a fight where someone gouged his eyeball out?
There was a very specific like eye injury.
Is this
Whoa.
a situation?
It's like where they cut that movie where they cut the cow's eye with a razor. Does that happen in Elio?
Oh, it could be that, or is this? Did Elio fight a young on bath salts Marky Mark, who famously does blind people, or did in his younger days? Did in his younger days?
No longer does it as
He repents,
that we know.
or
of.
I think he maybe apologized. I don't think he actually ever has apologized for that.
No, I think his thing
No,
was that
he forced the guy he blinded to apologize for getting him in trouble.
Yeah,
Of course.
and then I think his excuse was the guy was already blind when I attacked him.
If I was there, it wouldn't happen. It wouldn't have went down like that. And they were like, "But you were there," and he was like, and he just kind of shut up when that happened.
Yeah, and then he went and he's like, you know what? I'm just going to do streaming movies from now on. But yeah, Elio. I mean, this does sound like a premise that kids could be into. It just feels like a movie that isn't going to go beyond kids and guardians. It's not going to spread into teenagers, people on dates, middle-aged people.
If I took okay, I'm not taking a date to Elio.
Right, but you would have taken a date to The Incredibles too.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the difference between a
because of
billion-dollar movie
the Mrs. Incredible's badonkadonk.
Yes, because that gets me in the mood.
Yeah. And if you're in the mood, she's in the mood.
Were you guys on Twitter
Gotta
for that
be.
whole debacle? There was like a film critic who like wouldn't stop talking about Mrs. Incredible's ass.
Okay, and people were against him.
Yeah, people were like, "Why did you say all that?" And then other people were like, "Let him have a fetish for this cartoon character. It's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't shame him."
They're
This
like,
is the
finally,
week for it.
someone speaks for us.
So, and I don't think Ilio's going to have that type of fandom and that type of online discourse. There's not
Now,
a badonkadonk.
Do we see the mom before she dies? Did she have a big fat ass?
Yeah, I they don't show that in the trailer. Like,
Is it like the beginning of Up? But it's
There's
just
a
like
montage that might feature it.
Yeah.
up
Right.
top, but
Where he's really short, so all he sees is that big fat ass.
Right. It's like Muppet Babies.
Yeah,
type
yeah.
thing, where
Only-
you just see, but instead of just the legs, it goes
Yeah.
but right to the waist. You
Nanny's
see
got
the ass.
cake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nanny's got cake now. Sorry.
Yeah, so you
Got something in
you
my
can't
throat.
confirm that we see the dead mom's big fat ass in the opening montage of Elio.
Yeah.
I feel like that could have been one of the reshoots, when they
Mhm.
took the movie from the original director,
Yeah.
who so much of the original cut of Elio was about the dead mom's big fat ass.
Yeah.
And we say that in a way of the director loved
Loved
that big
it.
fat ass.
Celebrated it.
Yes,
Yeah.
worshipped it for the
Yes.
first 45 minutes of the runtime of the original.
He doesn't
cut
even
of
get to
Elio.
space until an hour in.
No, he doesn't even mention wanting to go to space because
No.
he does not want to leave the comfort of his mom's big fat ass. which
Yeah.
everyone loves, everyone talks about.
Yeah.
The entire first act of the movie is she's winning contests with this big fat ass.
Uh-huh.
And I think that might have been when they took the film from that director and said,
Mhm.
we need to change something.
We need an alien. We need a alien.
We need an alien, a mention of an alien in the first act.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
You
would have
nailed
I
it.
would have loved to have been in one of those original test screenings.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have loved to see the comments on those scorecards afterward
Oh, absolutely.
where they turn the dial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I think some people broke the dial in that original cut of Ilya.
Oh, yeah.
making the ass bigger. Is that
Yeah.
the dial?
Yes, if they gave you a dial that you were able to turn it and the dead mom's big fat ass gets bigger and bigger as you turn the dial.
Break that dial off.
Yeah.
I didn't mention that he's raised by an aunt played by Zoe Saldana.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Hot
You haven't
off her-
mentioned her ass.
I was going to ask. I mean, do I even
Hot
have
off
to ask?
of their Oscar. How do I say it? Did you hear that her Oscar? She said in the interview last week, her Oscar goes by they them pronouns.
The Oscar does.
The Oscar does.
But
Wow.
they don't. But she doesn't. The
She
Oscar
doesn't.
does.
No,
Oh.
Zoe is a woman.
Okay.
Identifies as a woman. Her Oscar identifies as trans. Is what she said.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, as
People
a
just
tribute to
kinda-
the movie.
Yes, people just kind of like let that go. I feel like the predominant Twitter comment on that was, "We don't have time for this right now, Zoe," and everyone just let it go. But it's a weird thing to say.
Okay. And is this something she's talking about extensively on the Ilio press tour?
I mean, it must have happened there, frankly, which is so funny because I don't know why else someone would be talking to her right now.
Yeah, I don't know if that helps the audience get the box office for this.
Yeah,
kid
they
movie.
just kicked the trans character out of a Disney thing recently. They don't want anything to do with that.
Well, I just don't think that's going to break through to the kids who are watching Miss Rachel, watching Teletubbies. What do kids watch now? It's Miss Rachel and Teletubbies, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
What this Miss Rachel has had a moment in the sun, and I had never heard of them before. You have a new flesh at your home, but they are not old enough to watch anything truly yet, are they?
Say again?
Your
baby.
child, are they watching Miss Rachel or the Teletubbies?
Oh yeah,
Or is-
she's watching Miss Rachel. She knows Miss Rachel.
Okay, so it starts very early.
Yeah, Miss Rachel is teaching your toddler things. So my kid knows how to speak and shit likely because of Miss Rachel. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, no, she's huge.
That's
Her and the
amazing.
Teletubbies.
Yeah. Her and Teletubbies. If I told you the Teletubbies appear in 28 years later, would you believe me? Because
I would, because they're in the trailer. So
Okay,
yeah,
fuck.
yeah, I would believe you, and because they're the biggest thing going still.
Yeah.
So this Elio, and does the Elio's Pizza, it's weird that that's not a tie-in at all. That they went
No,
with
they didn't do
McDonald's and not
anything
Elio's
with Call Me By
Pizza.
Your Name or that Elio. There's no connection. There was a lot of missed opportunities, I think.
Yeah. So I think let's get into
Yeah.
our top 5 predictions. Are you guys ready?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So
100%.
Brett, you are the guest. Would you like to go first, second, or third in your top 5 prediction?
All right, let's go first. I'm going to go first. I think How to Train Your Dragon, what's it going to drop? like half? Is it going to do like a 50% drop or a little less? If it does a little less, that puts it, let's say it does 45
Mm-hmm.
at number 1. And then you have number 2, 28 years later at 42.
Wow.
Wow, you're going high.
I'm going to go high just because why not? And then 3, it'll be Elio at 29. And then 4, Lilo at like, I don't know, 10. And then what is that? 4.
That's 4.
And then so I have materialists, I think.
All right.
We'll do like, I don't know, 7.
Okay. Made 12 last weekend, so
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
So Clayton, would you like to go next?
You can go next.
All right. So number 1 is going to be, God, it's hard for it to not be How to Train Your Dragon. I think it does like 50 million. I think it really holds strong. Number 2, I think 28 years later only gets to like 37 million. I don't think it gets to 40. Number 3 is going to be Elio at like 22. Number 4 will be Lilo and Stitch. And number 5 will be The Materialist or Materialist. Drop to the it's cleaner. And yeah, probably makes like $6 million. Probably just drops half. So yeah, I guess I'm not as high on 28 years later opening weekend. But Clayton, what do you got for your top 5?
Yeah, I mean, I do think How to Train Your Dragon, 45
Okay.
million, number 1. Number 2, I just 28. The Yahoo thing is really swaying me, but I do think this movie is going to make 30.
Okay, so you're the low. Okay.
I think I'm on the low end there.
Okay.
And listen, I said last episode I'm rooting for this Elio. I don't know. It seems like it's going to be a cute movie. The kid seems like a cute kid. I'm sad that they cut all the big fat ass, but that's how the ball bounces sometimes.
And
But
it
I
just
do
bounces
agree.
right
I
off.
think this is going to be the lowest opening ever
Wow.
for a Pixar movie, and I'm gonna go with 25.
Okay.
And then under that is going to be Lilo and Stitch. And then, Materialists, I think, has a decent hold.
Yeah.
And it's number 5.
I mean, we all have 3 out of the top 4 movies this weekend being big kids movies. And I can't see a way where that's not what happens.
Burger King has a big kids meal too.
I mean, that's the thing. Fast food, they are leading the culture right now. So, going to be a huge weekend. We got 2 big movies coming out. And just real quick, Brett, Megan 2.0. How excited are you personally? I don't know if you've seen this film yet.
I haven't. I'm seeing it next Tuesday. I'm CUNT. I'm seeing it next Tuesday.
Wow. And do you think that this is going to be a full-on breakout cultural moment type of movie?
I don't know. I really don't know I can't catch a vibe on if people are excited about this. What did the first one open to? Like 40 or something crazy?
Yeah,
I
it
think
was
32. I think the
Okay.
first one opens at 32.
I
which
think it'll
was
do exactly
pretty
the
high.
same, don't you? Like kind of right about the same? Or do you
know,
think it's going to break out?
It's tough. It's tough to say because I do like I think we all like the gimmick of this doing the
Terminator 2 thing? Yeah.
Yeah, making her the hero, and the trailer looks good. I don't know if the online hype though is the same as there was. The first one had that just natural.
Yeah.
People got really into the meme of the dancing robot. But I
They
think
can open to 30.
it opens at 30. I do think this one will open bigger. I think this one's opening 40 or 50.
I think it opens bigger, but I don't think much bigger. And I think
Okay.
the thing that the reason why I keep thinking it's going to be a bigger movie than I think it's going to be is because you keep invoking T2. And I know why you're invoking T2, because Megan is now the good guy. But this doesn't have the budget or the scope to be a big breakout cultural moment. You keep saying cultural moment. T2 was a cultural moment. We all wanted to have a dirt bike. We all wanted to have a best friend that was a cyborg killer. this movie is such lower level
Yeah.
that its breakout potential would be 100 million, and that's it. It wouldn't ever get more than that.
Is there, Brett, within the horror world, do people care about this, or do they toss it off as more of a
I'm more of
Love
a I'm like I'm not a horror comedy person, so like
Mm.
I didn't love it. I think it's fine, and it was like the best version of what it could be, probably.
Yeah.
I I just am so perplexed by how it's going to do. I do think it'll probably do exactly what the first one did. And my prediction for that movie is that it's going to end with the tease that Chucky will fight Megan in the next one.
I mean,
Okay, then that's big.
that'd be big.
Yeah, that'd
That's
be
like
big.
the only way it would like transcend. I think that's actually that's their only play to make it a cultural moment, is to have the post credit be a Chucky reveal, which is possible because the show just ended. Don Mancini, the creator, has teased that Chucky will be back. Universal owns both properties. He's been asked about it, and he's not he's not said no. He said, maybe maybe that'll happen.
But this would not be the robot Chucky from the reboot.
No,
This
it'll be the
will
original Chucky,
OG
canon
Chucky.
Chucky. Yeah, like,
canon
it would
Chucky.
be as if that Chucky never happened. The Mark Hamill Chucky, which I know you hate Mark Hamill, so I'm sure you don't like that movie.
I do, and I didn't.
Yeah, I hope the Chucky thing happens, if only because we need our boy Chucky back on the big screen, and if that's the way to do it, I'm fine with it. Megan versus Chucky, let's go.
Let's go. LFG.
Yeah.
Let's effing go.
Oh.
So email us, theboboyspodcast@gmail.com. We did get an email. We're going to answer it on an upcoming episode. Someone emailed us about the Springsteen trailer today. The Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, Springsteen : Deliver Us from Evil, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yep.
And want to get our opinion. We will cover that trailer very soon, but jam-packed episode here. So a little tease.
90.
This is part 1 of 3 when it comes to us talking about the Bruce Springsteen trailer.
Yes.
So email us theboboyspodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on social media at theboboyspod. Wannabe OVP of Interns Christopher, killing it with the vertical clips on TikTok, on Instagram. Subscribe to the Substack. Subscribe to the YouTube. We are YouTubers. Hey, guys.
Hey guys.
And Brett, where can the Wannabe O Boys, Wannabe O Girls, Wannabe O people find you on all your many podcasts?
You can read me now on Yahoo Entertainment, where I am like their film critic now, which is great. I'm doing weekly roundups of what's in theaters theatrically, what's coming to streaming on services you already have, what's becoming available in the PVOD window. It's a very helpful guide, so you can read that at Yahoo Entertainment. You can find the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Roger and Me is one of them. Roger Ebert and Me. That's just a Siskel and Ebert clone that I do. And then The New Flesh is the horror show that I do. We just covered 28 Days and Weeks today, a very belated episode that should have come out days ago. And then 28 Years is next.
Wow. So
followed by Megan.
Gotta follow Brett on all those podcasts on Yahoo.
Make it your homepage. Make it your homepage.
Yeah, make Yahoo your homepage today.
Yahoo your homepage. What are you waiting for? You've had so many years to do it. Do it now. Make
This
Yahoo
is the
your
week
homepage.
for it.
This is it. So, yeah. I mean, what a big weekend coming up. Cannot wait to see how this shakes out. Thank you, Brett, of course, for joining us on the BO Boys. And Clayton,
Thank you.
That is all I got. I got nothing else.
Pat, I finished.
Perfect.
And you've said it all. Maybe
right.
too much.
Okay.
There's
I'm
nothing more to be
finished.
said.
Great. So it could take off.
Except for, until next time, we'll smell you
you
at the box office. Nailed it. Hey, guys.